Hello, I'm Bob Doxsee Jr. We're at my place of business at Doxsee Sea Clam Company in Point Lookout, New York. We've been at this location since 1933. On the wall is my great-grandfather, James Harvey Doxsee, born around 1825 in Islip, New York. This is his biography. Tells all about him, how he started canning some of his farm produce. He inherited his parents' 400-acre farm, which was a show place. The Long Island Railroad used it as an advertising campaign to entice farmers to come out to Long Island and ship their wares on the railroad. From there we started buying up clams from the clam diggers on the Great South Bay and started the famous J.H. Doxsee and Sons clam cannery. Here's a picture of the cannery right here. We mounted the clam shells outside. A couple of workers standing there. In those days, I guess there were no child labor laws, so we had children, we had women, we had blacks. There's a one-armed lady, handicapped, so we had it all covered. And this is the front and back cover of an 1892 brochure advertising the efficacy of his clam juice. Now, I love this picture here about the clam juice. It says, good for dyspepsia and biliousness, and keep in a cool place because they had no refrigerators in those days. Here's pictures of some cans that were probably canned 100 years ago.
Hey Bob, how many trips has this boat made, you think? How many trips?
What do you mean, this year?
No, I mean, since you had it. It's a lot, right?
A lot. It's over 30 years already. Believe that? 1978?
When are the seas too rough? What height?
It all depends on the wind and which way the tide's running and how salty you feel that day. How bad you need the clams. Take a lot of risks sometimes, at least we used to. So when the wind and the tide are going in the same direction, it's not as rough. The wind and if you have opposing forces, then they heat up more. It gets rougher in the winter than the summer, isn't it, John?
Yeah.
For some reason, the winter the seas get rougher with the same wind. Don't ask me why.
You got to be careful with all the machinery that's getting used.
Yeah, heavy equipment.
Yeah.
Legs and arms have been lost in winches.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, well, see, these are remotely controlled, so it's safe. In the old days, you had to be right next to the winch. They handle the brake and the friction clutch. It's all remote controlled, which is very safe. Nobody gets near the winch. Nobody loses an arm or a leg in there. All hydraulically operated.
How many guys do you need to work the boat?
Three.
There's a lot of physical labor?
No.
Not like it used to be.
When was the heyday of clamming?
Always a heyday.
Any day you can work is a heyday.
That's kind of hard to
Stay
say.
on.
For us, it was during World War II. We had the first commercial sea clam packing plant in the country, probably the world. 22 boats bringing clams in, had 50 shuckers, had a bunch of women to do the squeeze. All the clams would get shipped up to Maine.
Who came up with the idea to use that equipment? Was it a dredge and a blower, right? What it is back there?
Well, you know, everything's an evolution. When we went into the business, dredges were very small. Nothing like this. You could sled and a dredge with two separate pieces, and you could fold the sled right over the dredge, put the whole thing in the trunk of your car. It's an evolution. When we started clamming, there were no pumps in those days, and it was right at our place that the idea of putting water on the dredge came about. And my father Scout, a Bright Eye, had an engine-driven pump. And as far as I know, that was the first boat that ever used a pump and a hose to catch clams with. The dredge lays on the seabed, pulls on those runners, and the digging blade, you can see the digging blade, that goes under the seabed, and the water's in front of the blade, and it liquefies the sand, so that it can pull the blade through the bottom. Otherwise, you'd be anchored in the bottom.
How many cages are you allowed to take?
Well, we're allowed 28 a day, under this new regime. But we have a limited number of tags. We're limited to 13,000 bushels of bowl, which is cutting it very, very thin. Insurance alone is 25% of the gross landings. It's no good.
Pulling that basket is what's making the boat turn so much, right?
Yeah, we're pulling from the boom there. Yeah, you want to keep going around to the right all the time. You have to be careful you don't get any, the tow line or the hose goes under the boat because you can catch it in the propeller. So you have to be going to the right all the time to starboard. When you got a big bag, the boat's leaning way over like this, then the dredge is way far away from the boat.
How does the water balance it out? Is there a gate somewhere for the water?
See the water in the tank?
Yeah,
You can adjust that any way you want.
Oh, you can, huh?
Put more in, take it out. So the more water in this tank, the less water in that tank, the more the boat's going to lift support. And as like I say, you get a big bag of clams, it's going to keep the boat from listing over too much. Because then the dredge is far out away from the boat. This way it can swing right over the hopper. You see where it comes in? It comes right over the hopper. You're not pulling on it to hold it over the hopper so the clams don't go into the ocean. You'll see when it comes in. The fish swings right up over the hopper, full. No waste. Call that the ring back. Made with rings. Rings and links.
Oh, the...
Wee-oh! He's happy, he's got a big bag. That's a cage and a half right there. See how it comes right in over the hopper, look. No sweat.
You can tell by looking at how much clams it is, huh?
Yeah, that's over a cage there.
How long do you usually tow for?
Depends on how thick the clams are. If you get too many clams in a bag, you can't even lift it. So you probably tow 5-6 minutes. Clams have more room to grow, so they're larger.
On the
You
edge?
get more into the center, then they're denser, and they can fill the dredge up in no time.
Well, there's edges under there too?
What's that?
There's edges where the clams lay?
Oh yeah, well yeah. There's the bed, and around the edge of the bed, the clams have more room to grow.
There's clams right outside the inlet? Right here there's clams, huh?
Yeah, we're clamming right outside the inlet, right?
Only been clamming a half hour?
Yeah, we're towing half an hour. We're making short tows. Big controversy over horseshoe crib. Got about 15 bushel, so it's like half a cage right there. We used to do all that with shovels. Shovel them into bags, and drag them into the stern and stack them. Hopper's full, 60 bushel in a hopper, right?
Yeah.
It just pulls them right out. It's the smoothest slope.
The green one?
Yeah, with the hoses,
Yeah.
9 horsepower. Never gets tired. Just keeps on working. Sometimes you're in an area, you get all this gritty shells. It's almost like concrete. You gotta pick through all that.